Hey, welcome to video number 4. It's called Fluency with Multi-Digit Decimal Computations and comes from the standard Fluently Multiply Multi-Digit Decimals using a standard algorithm. In plain terms, we're going to be multiplying decimals today, so let's get started. As with our other videos, we need to show a way to use it, not just show you the standard algorithm, but show you visually how it's represented. We used the base 10 blocks, manipulatives, in the first 3 videos, and now we're going to use this grid paper to show how to multiply decimals, what it looks like. The example from our book is this word problem about sloths. Sloths is commonly referred to as the slowest mammal on Earth. Its top speed on the ground is about 0.2 miles per hour. To find the furthest a sloth might go in 0.6 of an hour, use a model to find 0.2 times 0.6. So what we do, both of them are in tenths, so we're going to take a 10 by 10 square. That way each square represents 1/10. When we do that, then we mark on one side the first number and on the other side the second number, and where they overlap is what our answer is. So we've got 2/10, which is the top speed that we said, and 6/10 is how much time we gave them. 2/10 times 6/10 gives us a total of, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the furthest a sloth might go in 0.6 of an hour is 1/1200th mile, or 0.12 miles. So let's try it again. We have 3 problems here. Just like the first one, they're all in tenths, so we've got 10 by 10 grids. So we need to start by, remember, putting our number on the side. If I'm going to put 0.2 over here, and I know that's not the easiest to see. I probably should have used a different color. And we've got 0.9 that we're going to put over here. Well, we need 2/10, so 2 out of these 10 is what we're going to be using, and 9/10, so 9 out of these 10. So we're going to be using all of these squares, shading them in, and we get what for an answer? Well, we can count them up to see what's shaded when we overlap the 9 and the 2, which if we count it up, it should be 0.18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. Let's try it again. We've got 0.4, or 4/10. So we're going to put 0.4. And then we have 3/10. So we'll put 0.3 over here. So that means on the top, we're going to be going 3 across, 3 out of the 10. And going down the side, we're going to be using 4 out of the 10 to get our 4/10. So when we shade that in, that shows us what out of the hundredths. I guess I didn't make that clear. If we've got a 10 by 10, that means altogether there are 1/100th. That's why we get 0.18, or 18/100ths. Over here we would get 0.12, or 12/100ths, 12 out of the whole 100 grid. I want you to do number 3 on your own, and we'll check it in class tomorrow. We need to keep moving on. We're not going to sit and draw out grids every time we want to multiply decimals. So we need to figure out how to do it without drawing it out. And this is going to help us. This is our key concept, so you need to make sure to take a peek at this. We multiply decimals as you would whole numbers. So we're just going to forget about the decimal points to begin with. Then we want to place the decimal point, and in order to do that, we need to count up the number of decimal places in the product, the total number of decimal places, and that's what needs to happen in our answer. So for example, that's not the clearest. Right here, we're going to work this problem out. We have 3.14, and we're multiplying it times 15.6. So if we're talking technically, we have 3 and 14/100ths times 15 and 6/10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply it for right now, pretending that it's 314 and 156. I'm not going to worry about these decimals. They're important, and I'm going to come back to them. But when I'm multiplying, I'm just going to ignore them for the time being. So using our standard algorithm that we learned last week, I need to take 6 times everything up here. So 6 times 4 is 24. Remember, everything over 9 needs to get regrouped. So I'm going to put the 4 down here, and the 20 is going to go in this column. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 gives me 8. 6 times 3 is 18. So I have 1884. Now I'm done with the 6. I'm moving over to the 5. Remember, it's not 5 though, it's 50. So we need to get our 0 down there to show that it's a multiple of 10. So 5 times 4 is 20. I'm going to put another 0 down and a 2 up. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 gives me 7. 5 times 3 is 15. Now I'm moving on. I'm done with the 5. I got all of them taken care of. I'm moving on to the 1. But again, this is not a 1. It's a 100. So I need to put 2 zeros in there to show that I'm multiplying times 100. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So now I'm just going to add these together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 4 is 19, so the 9 goes down, the 1 goes up. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 5 is 7, plus 1 is 8, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. So now I have 48984. Now is when I need to remember my decimal places. And so what I need to look at now, and I'm just going to highlight this quickly for you, is I need to look up in this section right here. Here's my decimal point, and I have 2 numbers to the right. Here's my other decimal point. I have 1 number to the right. So I have a total of 3 numbers to the right of the decimal points. I have a 1, a 4, and a 6. So there's 1, 2, 3 numbers to the right of my decimal points. I need to make sure that I have 3 numbers to the right of my decimal point down here as well. So it has to go between the 8 and the 9, 48 and 984 thousandths. That's what I get when I take 3 and 14 hundredths times 15 and 6 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's my decimal point. And if we look up here, 48.984, exactly what we got there. So let's try it again. Here we've got a different way to just show how we need to be counting these up to remember it. The first thing we needed to do was to multiply it like it's a whole number, right? So I'm going to multiply it like it's 605 times 37. 7 times 5 is 35. So I put the 5 down and the 3 up. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 3 gives me 3. And 7 times 6 is 42. I'm going to write 42 right down there. So now I'm done with the 7. I'm moving over to the 3. That's really 30, so I need to put my 0 to show it's a multiple of 10, and I can go ahead and get started. 3 times 5 is 15. The 5 goes down, the 1 goes up. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 3 times 6 is 18. That's it. I've used all my numbers, so I'm just going to add these up just like I would normally. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 2 plus 1 is 3. 4 plus 8 is 12, so I put the 2 down and the 1 goes up. 1 plus 1 is 2. So now I have 22385. How do I figure out where to put my decimal again? That's right. I need to add them up. So how many numbers do I have to the right of the decimal in my first number? I have 6.05. So I have 2 numbers to the right of my decimal. I have a 0 and a 5. In this second one, how many numbers do I have to the right of my decimal there? I hope you said 1. We just have the 7 to the right. So I have 2 plus 1 equals 3 total numbers to the right of my decimal. That means my answer needs to have 1, 2, 3 to the right as well. So 22.385, or 22 and 385 thousandths. We're going to do one more together. And this one we have a little something to watch out for here. We're going to be doing this just like we did the other two. But here we need to make sure we need to write zeros in the product as placeholders in order to place the decimal point correctly. So we need to just watch out for zeros. With decimals, zeros can kind of mess us up a little bit. So let's go ahead. We're going to pretend that this is 1,732 times, 004. I wouldn't call it 004. I would just take it times 4, right? So I'm going to go 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Put the 2 down and the 1 up. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29, so the 9 goes down and the 2 goes up. And 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. 6928. Do I need to go ahead and multiply my 0 out? The answer is no, because I'm just going to be adding 0, 0, 0, 0, because 0 times anything is 0. But here's where this watch out is important. Even though I only took one number times it multiplying, I need to look at where that decimal point is and see how many are to the right. So here, I have 1.732. I have 3 numbers to the right of my decimal point. Here, 0.04, I have 2 numbers here. That means I need to have a total of 5 numbers or 5 digits to the right of my decimal point. Well, what happens? I have 1, 2, 3. I only have 4. So how am I going to make that happen? Remember, the numbers need to be to the right of my decimal. So I'm going to have to add a 0 in here to the beginning. Remember, I didn't multiply times 0 out here, but it holds a place value. So I need to remember that when I am putting my decimal point in. I start at the right and I count over 5 place values. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I had to add this 5th one and fill it with a 0. So 0.06928. Or it would be 6,928. What's my place value here? I have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. So 6,928 hundred thousandths would be my answer there. All right, I want you to do this one on your own. You've got another warning down here. Let's take a peek at that. Once you place the decimal point, drop the 0 at the end of the final answer. You would write the product as, and that's where you would figure that out. So that's your hint. We'll see how well that goes tomorrow. Try these problems as well. Let's just do numbers 1 and 3. Those are the only 2 I want you to do on that page. And here, let's just do 4 and 6. So it says use estimation to check your answer. This is something that we should be doing all the time. Just to make sure that we're in the right ballpark is really all we need estimation for. So if we look at this one, I want you to do 4 and 6 on your own. We're going to look at 5 right now. If we look at 16.8, that's pretty close to what number? Remember, I want estimation just to see if I'm in the right part, the right area. So I might round this up to 20 and this to 4, just to make it easy. I know that I had to round up, so my answer should be a little bit less, but it should be close to 80, somewhere in there. So let's see, when I take 16.8 times 3.7, I'm going to multiply it like it's 168 times 37. 7 times 8 is 56. I put the 6 down and the 5 up. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 5 is 47. Put the 7 down and the 4 up. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. So I have 1,176 when I took 7 times this. Now I'm going to take the 3 times it. Remember, it's 30, so I have to add my 0. 3 times 8 is 24, so I put the 4 down and the 2 up. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20, so I'm going to put my 0 down and a 2 up here. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So add this together, I get 6, 11, 2, and 6. I have my decimal point here and here, so I have 1, 2. I need to have 1, 2. So 62.16. I said it was going to be less than 80. It is. I had to do quite a bit of rounding up to get up to 20 and to get up to 4. So I think this is in the right ballpark. Estimation is going to help you to make sure that you have your decimal in the right place. For instance, if I would have accidentally put it between the 1 and the 6, I should have realized that 621 is not anywhere near 80. Or if I had gone one step too far, 6.216, 6 is not close to 80 at all, but 60 is relatively close. That's what we want you to do with estimation to check your answer. With that, I want you to answer the ones on your own, and I will see you in class tomorrow.